So then, first thing we're going to look at is the Garmin, or we're going to discuss is the Garmin Fenix 5 Active Multi-Activity GPS watch. So the first question I'm going to ask to Tom is, what is a multi-activity GPS watch?
So multi-activity watch from Garmin incorporates lots of different sports within it. So that'll be our fitness sports, so running, cycling, swimming, but also now we're incorporating outdoor and other sports, so walking, climbing and gym use as well.
Very good. And you've had a good play with this, Andy, haven't you? You've had a very bit of cycling as well with it, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, as well as hiking and walking, I love sort of road cycling. And what really impressed me about the watch, it does turn your wrist into a car sat nav for your bike, you know. So for the road cycling, you're able to, you know, search for place names, search for, one of the features I like, search for a round route. You go somewhere you haven't been before, which I often do on my road bike. You can say I want to do 20 miles, 30 miles if I'm feeling really fit, 50 miles, and it'll give me a selection of routes. I select them, and on the screen the load, pick the one I want, and it's that turn-by-turn navigation you get on the watch. So what I mean by that is when you're navigating with it, you get arrows on the screen as you get the road junctions, you get a nice buzz on your wrist, and a tone noise says, hey, there's a left-hand turn coming up, there's a right-hand turn coming up. So for the road cycling, I think a great product.
Very good. And it's the Fenix 5X that we've been looking at. The reason for that, it comes preloaded with this topo active mapping. So what's the topo active mapping, Andy?
So it's a colour digital map covering the whole of Europe, which the whole of Europe, Western and Eastern Europe on your wrist. It's a nice, clear, sharp map with it being a proper vector digital map. I at first thought, you know, because I'm so used to the handheld GPSs we sell and the size of the screen, is the screen going to be big enough to view the maps on? But with it being a digital map, and the fact you can zoom right in anyway and get really close in on the map and see clearly the route that you're following. And again, going back to the road cycling, the turn-by-turn arrows, I had no issue reading the maps. And I think it's just a great new feature to have a watch with maps that cover the whole of Europe on your wrist.
And it's got good clear menus on it, hasn't it? So the menus seem quite clear. It was easy to navigate around when you were using it for the first time.
Yeah, good sized buttons on the unit. I mean, me and Tom are actually both wearing the watches today, which if you listen to the podcast, you're not going to see them, but they're good sized buttons on the unit. And even as I'm cycling, pressing the buttons to move between the menus, I didn't find a problem. I found it quite easy. You know, good size watch on the wrist.
And one of the things Tom and Garmin have incorporated into this is the standard fitness products that we see on their fitness trackers, and so we've seen those incorporated into the watch as well as the navigational as well.
Yeah, so there's the usual road running modes and all the features that come with that from one of our top end Forerunner products. You've also got a trail running mode on there, which I love. I used it a lot for trail running, and there's the climb mode, which uses the barometer. So when you start climbing, it switches into a climbing mode and tells you how long you've been climbing for, how much ascent you've done on that climb, so you can really push yourself and see what you've been doing on that run. But you've also got your activity tracking, as you mentioned, so steps throughout the day, distance, sleep patterns, all of that stuff is all built into there as well.
It's got a heart rate monitor built in.
It has. You've all got heart rate monitor off the.
And that's on the back of the watch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an optical heart rate sensor.
That's fantastic, isn't it? So in the past we used to have strapped something around our waist for it, or around our chest, don't we? But now it's all incorporated.
Yeah, so it's all done off the back of the watch, so it can track your heart rate throughout the whole day, not just when you're doing your activity.
Brilliant. And we pair this with our smartphone, Andy. So what are the benefits of pairing the smartphone? Why are we doing this?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it being a multi-activity watch. So we talked about the navigational side of things and the fitness side of things, but it's actually a smartwatch as well. So those of you who, you know, you've got your phone with you, it might be in your rucksack or your pannier bag or your water pack, depending on what activity you're doing. Someone tries to get in touch with you, send you an alert, a message through your phone. Your phone's nice and safe in your rucksack, but you get those alerts on the screen of the unit. So that's one of the functions of having it paired with a phone. One of the things I really like, which Tom might be able to bring in a little bit more, is the Garmin Connector that you put on your phone that pairs with the watch for syncing all this data. We all want to share everything now with the likes of Facebook and Strava and all those sort of things, and having this Garmin Connector on your phone and syncing all that data when you've been out for a run or a mountain bike or a hike. I mean, Tom, you might have some more.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's a kind of a portal really for you to access all the information that the watch is recording. So you can go on there, it maps your activity that you've just done. You can see graphs of your elevation, your heart rate, your pace, all of it is on there for you to view and share through the other platforms and on social media as well.
Yeah.
So with all this technology on your wrist, is it quite a bulky watch, or not really?
I haven't got a big wrist, to be honest. You know, again, when I brought the watch out of the box, I thought, you know, it's going to be quite a heavy watch on my wrist. It's not at all. I hardly know it's there, to be honest. But you look at the size of it, but it's really comfortable on the wrist. I like the one we've been stocking is the one with the tough polymer strap, and it's a really comfortable strap on the wrist. So no, I actually feel for a big size watch, it feels comfortable on the wrist.
And looking onto satellites, is it quite quick? Are we using both the American and the Russian satellites, or are we just using one type of satellites with the watch?
So GPS and GLONASS.
Right,
so,
okay,
yeah,
fantastic.
US and Russian
So
satellites.
it's the same as what we have with the outdoor GPS units. So is it logging on just as quick with it, or a little bit slower because they've not got the antenna that we have on an outdoor GPS unit?
To be honest, probably a little bit slower than some of the big handheld units we do, but I don't want to use that word slow because it's still compared to units of past. You go outside, you're ready to start your activity. By the time it's been turned on for a couple of minutes, that's it, you're locked on and ready to go. So no, I'm quite happy with them.
And the big thing I think that you mentioned earlier on when we first started about is this turn-by-turn route about it buzzing as you reach the junctions. This is when you've been out cycling, isn't it?
Yeah, so on the cycling navigation, either picking somewhere to navigate to or using this round routing, you get the buzzing on your wrist and you get these big arrows on the screen. But what I've also been using the watch for is a little bit of mountain biking, where I actually planned a little route on the Garmin's Basecamp software to send to the unit. So this wasn't turn-by-turn routing, it was just me marking points that I was going to aim for on the watch. Worked really well. You don't get that same turn-by-turn arrows on the screen, but as I got close to the points that I'd marked on the map that I wanted to aim for at different junctions, you still got a little tone alert and a buzz if you got close enough to that point on the map on the watch.
So first impressions, very good or good, and what would you buy one yourself?
Me, for road cycling, I love it.
Right.
The hiking, I can see the benefits of, I suppose if you're doing those sort of more extreme climbing where you want your hands free, you don't want a handheld unit in your hand, I can see the benefits. But for me, I think more for the road cycling. And Tom, you've probably got some idea, the sort of activities that you do a few different activities.
I use it for like say walking, scrambling, my trail running and road running. I think the big advantage of the Fenix watch is it does do a little bit of everything and does each of them reasonably well. So if you are that true multi-using person, it's perfect. You can go and do everything with it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So to summarise, we really like the Fenix 5X. I say it's the most expensive one in the Fenix range, but we always choose the most expensive ones, don't we? If you want to know more, have a look at our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk. Click on reviews, and you'll see an article and videos where we review the Fenix 5X. There's quite a bit of information there. It's a good review, and there's a number of videos as we review it. So that's the Fenix 5X.